It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
Oh yeah, what is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando Sanchez. Art Edwards putting the distant into socially distant. What is this? Where are you?
I'm in China.
Oh, come on.
I am.
What in the world are you doing in China?
Well, you know what? There's a little, table tennis, ping pong going on, so I decided to check it out.
You gotta be kidding me, man. I need you for the show, so you gotta hang out for a little bit.
I'll hang out for a while.
Okay, well, we've all been waiting for it. College football back in the Northwest. What we learned about the Ducks and Beavers in week number 1. And Timbers fans, we haven't forgotten about you. It's decision day. The playoffs are set. Who they'll get in round number 1. But we start back east in upstate New York. The Seattle Seahawks playing the early game this morning. Were you up for that one, Art?
I was awake for it, yeah.
Well, it's been a long time since the Seahawks played a game like this. In 11 seasons under head coach Pete Carroll, they've never given up this many points, as the Bills defeat the Seahawks 44-34. The Seahawks making a rare trip to Buffalo, and they played from behind all day long. They were down 14-0 midway through the first quarter. Russell Wilson picked off in the end zone by the pride of Astoria, former Beaver Jordan Poyer. Wilson, he got beat up today. He was hit 11 times, sacked 5 times. The man was under pressure. He had 4 turnovers in this game. He threw 2 interceptions, had 2 fumbles. Seattle trailed by as much as 21 points. Wilson threw 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. You know, he had the magic going like he normally does, but it was too little too late. The Bills get the W 44-34. It's the most points Seattle has allowed in a game since 2009. Josh Allen, he threw for 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Seahawks fall to 6-2 as they hit the halfway point of the season.
We started off slow, and obviously, you can't do that versus good teams, so we got to be better.
We just don't turn the ball over like that, but we did today, and they capitalized on all of it and just made us pay. So it was the kind of game that we're just not used to seeing, and we got to make sure and put that behind us and get rolling.
Despite that, it wasn't our best game. Obviously, we scored a lot of points. We did a lot of good things in that sense, but we also did some bad things. So we just got to eliminate those things, and I think stay focused on the mission. The reality is Seattle Seahawks are 6-2.
Let's head to Seattle and check in with Seahawks insider Joe Fan with NBC Sports Northwest. Tough loss for the Seahawks, Joe. Your thoughts on today's game?
Well, it's more of the same, right? It's a defense that's really bad, a historically bad pass defense, and just waiting to see whether or not the offense can overcome it. And today, Russell Wilson wasn't perfect, far from it. He had 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles lost, both on sack fumbles. And so I think you look at his game and say, man, 390 yards, 2 touchdowns, also a rushing score, and you're saying that's his bad game, right? But that's the level of this defense, right? And granted, some of the 44 points were due to short fields because of turnovers, but that defense was bad. Over the course of the first 4 drives for the Bills, the Seahawks gave up 24 points. And so Josh Allen had his way, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. It was Seattle's ugliest performance of the year. I don't think it's worth overreacting to, but it is worth noting several causes for concern.
Is there anything that they can do to avoid a performance like this and giving up that many points?
If you're looking for a silver lining, you can point to the fact they had 7 sacks, which is a huge number, given they only had 12 for the first 7 weeks. And so Carlos Dunlap, 3 tackles for loss and a sack. Jaron Reed had 2.5 sacks. Jamal Adams, a sack and a half, coming back after missing 4 games with a groin injury. And so there were some positives in terms of what they were able to do, getting to Josh Allen, bringing blitzes. But at the same time, when you can't cover anybody, it's really hard to feel too good about the pass rush. And Quentin Dunbar dealing with a knee injury. He was targeted early and often and just absolutely got abused in coverage. This team is sorely missing Shaquille Griffin, who they hope will come back after another week or 2 with the hamstring injury. But the secondary that was billed to be one of the best in football. And again, there have been injuries, but still no excuse for how bad things have been through the air.
What's next for the Seahawks, Joe?
Well, you regroup, and you've got a couple of big divisional games coming up. And the good news is that this is an AFC opponent to where when tiebreakers come into play, this game won't mean as much. So you got to come back against the Rams and the Cardinals after that on a Thursday night game. And so those are really huge games. They always are when you're in a division, but they've already lost one to Arizona, and they've never had an easy time stopping Sean McVay's offense. And so after giving up 44 to the Bills, you know Sean McVay's watching that game film and saying, man, I can always march up and down the field against the Seahawks, but even more so this year, I think it's back to the drawing board and some soul-searching time for Seattle on the defensive side of the football.
Nicely done, Joe Fan, Seahawks insider with NBC Sports Northwest. Appreciate you, man.
Orlando, thanks, man.
Art might be playing defense for the Seahawks. This just
That's coming.
Time to take a trip around the NFL with Hyundai. Former Ducks and Beavers showing off this weekend. We start with Jacksonville hosting Houston. Former Beaver Jake Luton. Are you kidding me with this? 73-yard touchdown pass on his first NFL completion. Fourth longest TD pass on a first NFL completion since the 1970 merger. That's stats, folks. He also ran one in for a score, but wasn't enough. The Jags fall today to the Texans, 27-25. Great start for Luton, Art. Do you think he'll be the starter going forward for the Jags?
Well, you know, he may be. I mean, if Minshew is really hurt, who else are they going to play? He looked good today, that's for sure. Hey, it's on to Southern California now for a date between the Raiders and the Chargers. Justin Herbert's team looking good in those brand new uniforms.
Those
I
are
like
clean.
Those unis. Those
Clean.
are cool.
Give me one of those.
Hey, another week, another big game for Justin Herbert. This is just one of his 2 touchdown passes. Herbert threw for over 300 yards, had 2 scoring strikes, broke Cam Newton's record for the most pass yards in the first 7 starts by a rookie. He has 2,103 yards. Chargers lost again, though. They had what they thought was a touchdown to win the game on the last play of the game, but it was overturned. They lose to the Raiders 31-26. Orlando, do you think this great play by Herbert will pay off sometime soon?
Absolutely 100%. Even in today's post-game press conference with Herbert, he immediately brought up his freshman year, going 4-8 with the Ducks and all the hard work and belief in each other, how it pays off. This guy's locked in and he looks nothing like a rookie. Look out for Justin Herbert. Game of the day today in Kansas City, the Chiefs hosting the Carolina Panthers. I like the map there. Newsflash, Patrick Mahomes can ball out. This one of his 4 touchdown passes on the game. He passes Dan Marino as the fastest to 100 passing touchdowns. The Chiefs needed everything they got from Mahomes, though, to hold off the Panthers. 33-31. Kansas City now 8-1. That's the second best record in the AFC. Art, you like the Chiefs as the Super Bowl favorites?
Yeah, I do like them as getting back to the Super Bowl and maybe winning it all again. I mean, they look awesome, and you know they've got tons of firepower. It's now time to travel from the Midwest to the Southwest. The Cardinals looking to grab the top spot in the NFC West, hosting the Miami Dolphins. You know, this was a battle of a couple of young guns. Miami's Tua Tagovailoa, I knew I would do that, in his second start, outstanding. One of his 2 touchdown passes. Miami gets a 4th quarter field goal, though, to take the game 34-31. Kyler Murray, not bad himself, 283 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Cardinals right behind the Seahawks in the NFC West. Orlando, are you surprised by the great play of these young quarterbacks?
Man, over the past few years, it's hard not to be anymore. These guys come in ready right away, and those 2 dudes are good. And props to the Dolphins defense. They can play.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's time now to take a look at the players and teams that had good days. You know, those ones that had not so good days. Our heroes and zero. We'll start with the heroes. First up, the Vikings, Dalvin Cook. He had a monster game for the 2nd week in a row, just smashed my fantasy team, but that's besides the point. 206 yards, rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had another 46 yards receiving to give the Vikings a 34-20 W over the Lions. Minnesota has now won 2 in a row.
Hey, our next hero is a local guy. Former Central Catholic and Oregon State star Ryan Nall scored his first NFL touchdown today, the short pass, and then, of course, he just blasts into the end zone in true Wrecking Nall style. Wasn't enough, though. The Bears fell to the Titans 24-17.
You love to see it, man. All right, we have just 1-0 today, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys. They led the undefeated Steelers in the 4th quarter. But did you really think they would pull this thing off?
No way.
Yeah, me neither. They had a chance to extend the lead when Garrett Gilbert threw an interception deep in Steelers territory. Pittsburgh came back to win it 24-19 and extend the misery for the Cowboys this year. The Steelers now 8-0. Dallas now 2-7. Art, what you think about those Steelers?
Well, you know what? They look pretty good, but I tell you what, I'm not feeling it after they had trouble with Dallas.
Uh-oh. You're saying there's a problem.
I
All
think
right.
so.
Well, hey, unbeaten is unbeaten. Still to come, the Cardboard fans are excited, including, whoa, who's that ugly guy? College football is back. We head to Eugene and Corvallis as Sports Sunday rolls on. Let's go. Welcome back to Sports Sunday. It's been too long. Feels good to be back. The Oregon Ducks moved up to 11th in the AP poll after opening the season with a 35-14 victory over Stanford. Saturday was the first time we saw what this offense can be. New line, new quarterback, new coordinator. Tyler Shuck showed he can make some pretty big throws, and there were some spectacular catches in this game. But the Ducks' bread and butter, it was on the ground. They rushed for 269 yards, and 105 belonged to that man, C.J. Verdell. 4 different Ducks ran for a touchdown, and we also found out that Oregon is willing to let their QB run. Shuck had 11 carries, 85 yards, and that touchdown. On the flip side, Oregon has to clean up some mistakes. They had a couple of turnovers. Stanford was missing some key players, and Stanford's kicker missed 4 field goals. But it was a solid opening night for the Ducks in a 21-point victory. Here's QB1 and Coach Cristobal.
My mindset was that I'm gonna go in every day and work to be that role. I mean, I still got to earn it. You know, nothing's set in stone. Every guy on our roster's got to earn their spot. So I think today was just a great step and moving in the right direction. But we had a lot of stuff to get better on. And
we're super proud of them, excited for them because, again, they haven't played in such a long time. And when you win a football game, winning is hard. And to be able to just bring it all together like they did in the second half, it's a great start. It's a great start to the year. And the best part about it, there's so many things to get better at.
Art, your reaction to the way the Ducks played in game number 1?
Well, I love to see the running attack, you know, and it's exactly what Mario Cristobal wants. He wants to just pound on people and get that offensive line, just moving folks out of the way, and that was really good to see. And the other thing, glad to see that Tyler Shuck really has some game. You know, we didn't know what he could do, and we saw some good stuff.
I think that was the best part about all of this, Art, is that we were wondering so many different things because we're not allowed to be at practice. We don't really know what's going on. So this was our first true chance to see them in action. And if this is the starting point,
good point.
Great way to start, man.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to head up to Reser Stadium. The Beavers kicking things off against the Cougs. Jaden Delara making a statement. Oh, man, Craig Edwards is writing our scripts again, isn't he?
Yes,
the true
he is.
freshman getting it done for Wazoo. Oh, I can see him smiling. Oh, my goodness. What Beaver fans should take away from a Week 1 loss?
Here's Slovis looking, fires, it's out! Touchdown, Drake London!
My goodness, were you up for breakfast for this one, Art?
I
Drake
watched
London.
it. Yes, I saw it.
Drake London, the touchdown catch. 1:20 left to play to cap an amazing comeback by USC. They trailed Arizona State by 13 points with 3 minutes left before pulling out the 28-27 win. We got Pac-12 football for breakfast, and that is your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. The Oregon State Beavers kicking off the season at home facing Washington State. The Beavs looking to snap a 6-game losing streak to the Cougs. A battle of brand new starters. The Beavs going with Tristan Gebbia. The Cougs handing the ball to true freshman Jaden Delara. And Delara would get the upper hand early. This a dime in the third quarter to Renard Bell. Spectacular catch, man. Wazoo up 28-7 in the third, but Gebbia and the Beavs strike back. Jamar Jefferson have some. 120 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. Beavs get within 3, but the Cougs hold on to win it. 38-28, your final.
Did appreciate the guys fight and all that, but it's disappointing to get outplayed and lose games.
It's never fun when you lose in the end, but being out there and you know, having the energy and and doing what we love is awesome, but it's definitely harder to enjoy those things when you end up losing the ball games.
It was good to be back, definitely. But just being out there isn't good enough. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted. I know we're all disappointed. So the only thing we can do is put our heads down and go back to work.
All right, Art, same question applies to the Beavers. Your first impression?
I'm disappointed. I thought that they would come out and be a little better, not give up those big plays, not get gashed. I mean, I like their fight, like Coach said, but, man, the big plays killed them.
First game of the year, and you come out in the first half and do that. Art, you nailed it with the disappointment, because that's how I felt. I really expected more out of this defense.
Oh, yeah.
And it took them so long to get going. And you're playing a Washington State team that was undermanned, that was without key players, including Max Borghi. This was a game that they should have taken advantage of. And we're talking about something similar to last season, where we're saying they should have won this game. This should have been another game that they should have had in their back pocket. Instead, they lose.
Yep, they're going to have to regroup fast and get it going. What do they have? Washington next week. And, that won't be easy. So we'll see.
Yep, turn it around, guys.
That's right. Let's hope so. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit of soccer right now. The Portland Timbers, they went into decision Sunday against LAFC today with a chance to win the Western Conference. They came out as the third-place team in the West. The Timbers fell behind in the 5th minute, but they struck late to tie the match. Perfect cross right there from Diego Valeri in the 90th minute. Jorge Villafana with the header past the goalkeeper. That's his first goal in 5 years.
Say what?
Yes, 5 years. Match ended tied at 1, and that earned the Timbers the 3rd seed in the West. So here's a look at the playoff bracket. This is the 4th year in a row that the Portland Timbers have made it into the playoff. They will play FC Dallas in the first match of the playoffs at Providence Park. Date and time still have to be determined. We'll be right back.
NASCAR's most popular driver is now a Cup champion. Chase Elliott takes the torch from teammate Jimmy Johnson by winning his first Cup title, driving from the back of the field to victory lane at Phoenix Raceway. Elliott is the 3rd youngest to win the Cup title. He's 24 years, 11 months, and 11 days old. You were winning races at that age, right, Art?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Another good one in the books, Art. I guess you can get back to table tennis?
Table tennis in China.
All right.
I'm there.
All right, man. Nicely done, sir. And thank you all for joining us tonight. We leave you with our Plays of the Week.
Ball ready, it's go time. Lights, camera, action, showtime. The heart of a champion, my opponents hate it. The throne is for the taking. And
it's still just 1-0 in the 90th minute. And now Valeri's crossed by the ball. Villafana has tied the game.
Look at this. Just ping it on a platter. Go get it, Villafana.
This time with some separation. The catch is made by Harris.
He's out for coverage. We have the hit from behind. Dalen Hayes jumps up and gets him.